Hey there, welcome to Ben's Eco Adventure and welcome to another plug side chat. Today I want to talk about the Arya and our continued somewhat bumpy ownership experience. Let's get into it. As longtime viewers of the channel probably know, our Arya had a major fault. Probably that was about 8 months ago. It was in January of 2025. I saw an error message popped up on the dash saying EV system error, something to that effect, and took it in, and eventually, after some time with a dealer, they ended up having to replace the entire traction motor assembly. Now, fortunately, that was all covered under warranty, and they gave me a loaner car, and really, my local dealer here, Buckeye Nissan, really did a great job, and I give them a lot of props for that. So since then, the car has generally been trouble-free until our recent road trip to the Hudson Valley area of New York. I was driving along with my family in the car, and we're on the New York State Thruway, and we had just left the Plate Kill service area, which is kind of in the vicinity of Newburgh, New York, and we had DC fast charged at that. It's more of a service plaza because the tollways have a little bit fancier stops with restaurants and charging and everything. So I had fast charged the car to 95%, not intentionally, just because it took that long to get our food. But we left and I got on the road again, and probably, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes down the road from the service area, all kinds of messages started popping up on the dash. I got the turtle, I got service EV system, there were a bunch of errors, but I knew something was very wrong at that moment, and so I was more concerned with the traffic, because what happened was all of a sudden the car started to lose power and it wasn't keeping up the speed of traffic. So I had to look quickly to see, okay, I was in the left lane, and I had to get out of the left lane and try and find a place in the right lane that was safe. So yeah, it was a little bit harrowing experience, but at least fortunately I was able to get behind an RV. Now the car had, despite being in turtle mode, it had a power limit of about 10%. So I was able to at least continue moving at probably around 55 or 60 miles an hour. So the RV being there, I think, was kind of a godsend, because that is a little bit more visible and people understand and expect that RVs are going slow. But yeah, so all these error messages popped up, and simultaneously to that, as I mentioned earlier, I had just fast charged the car to 95%. And when all these errors popped up, it went from like 93-ish% on the guessometer to 0%, like out of energy. Now, I know like batteries don't just lose energy just in the blink of an eye, but nevertheless, when it does that, I think that's part of what put it into turtle mode. One other quirk I noticed is when all these errors popped up, the windshield wipers actually came on briefly. And it was a sunny day, a lot like today. There was no rain. There was nobody like spraying windshield washer or anything like that would make that happen. So I have a suspicion, based on that, along with a lot of people's experience that I've read online, that something went wrong with the 12-volt system. And the Arya seems to be known, along with a lot of other EVs, of having problems with the 12-volt battery and the 12-volt low voltage charging system. For anybody new to EVs, I should explain, EVs have generally two batteries. They have a high voltage battery that's really big, usually sits underneath the car, and that battery makes the car go. It powers things like the heater, the air conditioner, and that high voltage is stepped down to 12 volts, and pretty much all EVs have a regular 12-volt battery, just like an internal combustion car would have. Anyway, we're in turtle mode, we're on the freeway, on the thruway, we're still moving, fortunately. And so I was able to limp along to the next exit. Now, if you're familiar with the New York State Thruway, you know there's often long gaps between exits. So it was a very white knuckle 10-mile drive to the next exit at New Paltz. And we were able to ease off the tollway, and the car, being in turtle mode, really wasn't keen on accelerating. So I was very lucky when I got to the exit with a road. I was able to just keep going. I didn't have to stop for traffic, and made it maybe another half mile down the road where I could finally pull in to a gas station and just take stock of everything that had just happened. At the gas station, I actually managed to take a picture of the message, which I'll try to put up on screen now so you can see. And I tried turning off the car, just turning it off, opening the door, giving it like 30 seconds and turning it back on. And I tried that. That did not make the error message go away. But everything else was still working. Like the air conditioning was still working. The car was still behaving somewhat normally. And so I was still concerned, though, that it said service EV system. So as an EV driver, one of the things I recommend you have is a 10mm wrench in your car at all times. And the reason why you might need that is because EVs, being as technology centric as they are, oftentimes with your computer or your phone, you need to restart it. And the same is true with EVs. So what I did was I got out my 10mm wrench and opened up the hood, and I just disconnected the 12-volt battery, waited about a minute, and then reconnected it. And fortunately, all of these scary errors went away, and the car actually seemed to drive pretty normally after that. Fortunately, we were able to make it to our destination just fine. We were staying in Poughkeepsie. So once I was there, I looked around at auto parts stores online. Now this was on a Sunday, so dealerships are closed, most repair shops are closed. But I was able to go to an O'Reilly's Auto Parts, not a sponsor, and pick up a new 12-volt battery. And in particular, I got a absorbed glass mat, or AGM battery. I'm not a 12-volt battery expert, but it's my understanding that AGM batteries are sometimes better suited to the needs of EVs. Now, I know our Chevrolet Bolt EUV actually has an AGM battery from the factory, and it seems like a lot of other EVs are going in that direction. I believe that the new Kia EV6 is also now including an AGM battery. Bought a new battery, and fortunately I'm handy enough, and the Arya is serviceable enough that I was able to swap out the old battery and put in the new AGM battery myself. And I actually have a video of that whole process in the parking lot there, filmed by my kiddo, so look for that coming soon. And hopefully you won't need to do it in the situation I did, but it was at least good to see that the battery isn't hidden somewhere stupid like inside a fender liner or underneath 5 layers of stuff in the trunk or something like that. So again, the car continued to drive normally and seemed happy with the new battery. I did still want to schedule a service appointment. So I was lucky, hats off to Poughkeepsie Nissan in, I think it's Wappingers Falls, New York, which is just outside of Poughkeepsie. I was able to get an appointment with them the very next day on Monday, and they have a really good technician. They checked it out, they scanned for codes. They did find some history codes in the system. The technician actually installed an update, and I'll try to put on screen here what exactly that was from my repair order. And they weren't entirely sure that the update would necessarily fix the problem or was necessarily related to the problem I had. But nevertheless, I'm glad they at least checked and were able to look, and if not give it a clean bill of health, they were able to see that there wasn't anything imminent or urgent that was wrong with it, and that we would hopefully be able to get home without any trouble. That being said, my message to Nissan is you guys need to fix this. I am not the only person who has had this happen with an Ariya, where the service EV system comes on and the car loses power and goes to zero. This kind of failure is quite simply not acceptable on a car. And while I suspect it's related to the 12-volt battery, I'm not 100% sure. As I always say, despite my tendencies, I'm not an engineer. I would leave it to the experts to say what exactly was wrong with the car. I did actually file a complaint with NHTSA, our safety regulator, just explaining the whole experience, and I do believe that NHTSA will share that complaint with Nissan. So it's my hope that Nissan can get on the case and figure out what went wrong, whether it's just bad 12-volt batteries or a problem with the programming of the car, or I also think there's a possibility that it could be the DC to DC converter. That's the part of the car that takes the high voltage DC from the big battery, steps it down to 12 volt for the small battery. But again, I don't know, and I don't think it's reasonable for me just as an average person to try and diagnose this. This is something that Nissan really needs to figure out, because it's just unsafe to have a car lose power on the highway. Cars just frankly should not do that. Final thoughts on the Arya and its problems. So I'm happy to say at least we made it back to Ohio without any issues whatsoever. Hopefully the new AGM 12-volt battery fixes the problem. But if it doesn't, you better believe I will be updating you on that fact. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I do still love the Arya. It is a wonderful car to drive. It charges well, it's comfortable, it's great for road trips. But I will say I'm starting to lose patience with some of the issues that we're having here. Having the car in the shop for 30 days, all right, it happens. Once is I guess I won't say acceptable, but understandable. But now I'm seeing we're having issues again. So this car is actually registered to my wife, and she doesn't feel comfortable driving it. And I don't blame her. You don't want to be stranded out in the middle of nowhere, depending on where you're going, and not be able to fix it. I'm lucky in that I was handy enough to have a 10mm wrench to be able to disconnect the 12-volt battery, that kind of stuff. But that's not something that an average person should be expected to do. I do plan to schedule another service appointment for this car with the dealership, and hopefully they can look at it and maybe talk to the Nissan tech line. I don't know. I may just drive it around for another week and see if anything happens before I decide whether or not I want to make an appointment. But regardless, yeah, this car is sort of testing our patience, and if anything else big goes wrong, I really hope it doesn't. I don't want to be too fatalistic, but if something major, a third thing were to happen to this car, I don't think we would keep it. I hate to get rid of a car. I do like to keep cars for a while, but if we can't rely on this car, I just don't think we should be expected to be beta testers. I didn't buy the most cutting edge EV on the market, specifically because I wanted a car that was well sorted, and that, yes, okay, maybe it's not as high tech, maybe the software is not as good, that kind of thing. But at least you should know, or you should feel confident that it will get you where you want to go. And certainly for our Bolt EUV, that car has been pretty much flawless. We've only had one issue with it, and it was a minor issue basically with the telematics, which in no way affected the car being able to drive. So that kind of failure, I don't put at the same level as powertrain stuff that may prevent you from actually moving and the car is stuck somewhere. Regular reminder, if you're not already subscribed to Ben's Eco Adventure, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It really does help out. Thanks for watching.